always love those videos, especially, being able to see some of the fresher faces, some of the newer faces to the game. Rahul, no stranger to the Pokemon trading card game, has been playing for quite a while, but it seems like just recently, just in recent years, he's really shown that he can be one of the top players in the game.
Yeah, I don't know if it was when he moved to Florida that it really started to occur, but he has seen such a level, he's just raised his game over and over and over again, and now we see once again he was able to lock in this day 2 spot, and he's been working so hard to make sure that he got to this stage just now. And over on the other side of the table, no slouch. This guy knows what he's doing. He's won a world championship before, playing a very interesting Alolan Ninetales deck that I remember very vividly, and I'm sure he's ready to prove that he belongs on this stage as well.
And, well, the secret's out of the bag. He is playing Lightning deck. It's actually going to be the Pikachu and Zekrom deck that we've become so accustomed to seeing. And now we saw Fire Energy for Rahul. Rahul is on Reshiram and Charizard, so we have the 2 big tag team GX Pokemon that were so dominant in the last format, facing off head-to-head here in round 4 of action. It looks like both Rahul and Justin Bokhari are 3-0 coming into this 4th round. So both players are looking to have a very important victory here in round 4.
Yeah, very impressive for both of these players. It looks like there were a lot of mulligans. Just looking over at the side, Justin's hand is pretty large.
Yeah, Rahul plays very few Pokemon in his deck, but that also, it kind of, even though it obviously leads to a lot of mulligans, it ups your consistency, right? You only play 2 different Pokemon, so you know what you're going to have. And there is no real bad starter for Rahul, even though there is a better starter than the one he has.
Yeah, going second, he'd love to have started that Volcanion that he plays in his deck. Would have let him accelerate a lot of energies onto the field. And this is the disaster scenario for Rahul. He has just a lone Reshiram and Pikachu, Reshiram and Charizard tag team in the active spot, and his opponent has the Tapu Koko already on his bench, and he played a Judge. Jirachi hasn't even been used yet, and there's options with Dedenne as well. Justin could have a huge opening turn.
Very similar deck to the one we saw on the TCG stream on the 3rd round for Justin Bokhari here, as he combines Judge with the consistency of Jirachi to be able to kind of give himself an upper hand every time he tries to disrupt both players.
Yeah. Looking over at Justin's hand, he does have electromagnetic radar along with the lightning energy. Could combine those 2 and get some lightning into the discard pile for his Tapu Koko. Instead, he already has 2 Pokemon that he'd like to get on the board, so he's just going to play them now.
Wow. So that Judge was about as good as it can get, right? Not only did it let him get his lightning energy into the discard pile, but it also gave him an additional Pokemon in Raichu and Alolan Raichu, and it gave him Dedenne, which will allow him to Dedenne change for 6 new cards. That's a huge start here for Justin Bokhari, and it's exactly the kind of explosiveness that he's used to seeing out of his Pikachu and Zekrom deck.
Yep, now he's got a decision to make. He's wondering if he should take that Volkner or that Electro Power. He could just increase all of his attacks by plus 30 in 1 turn, or he could grab that Volkner, which will get him the lightning energy along with any item card, almost guaranteeing that he's going to have a turn 2 full blitz for us.
So now, that's Justin's side of the board, right? Rahul, on the other hand, only has 1 Pokemon in play, and he's down to 4 cards in hand.
Those 4 cards are great, though. We've got a little sneak peek. He's got Welder, Double Fire, and a Heat Factory, along with Fire Crystal, so he can use that Heat Factory first, have access to that Fire Energy if he wants to go double attachment with a Welder.
Well, there's that Fire Crystal, brings that Fire Energy right back. Now, Welder will allow him to bring these 2 energy onto that active Reshiram and Charizard and draw himself 3 additional cards there.
Yep, finds Volcanion, but it's a little late. Doesn't look like he can do anything, and he's just going to have to use Outrage. Do a little extra damage to that Jirachi, but don't know how impactful that's going to be.
Outrage dealing 60 damage due to weakness. And now Justin Bokhari gets his 2nd turn. A much, much quicker first turn for Rahul than Justin had, but it seems like that's kind of due mostly to the Judge there from Justin on the first turn. It just, even though Rahul had a great hand for being a 4-card hand, he still had fewer options than he's used to having on this first turn.
Almost guaranteed now that Justin will be able to get a full blitz off on this turn, unless he finds another alternative through uses with Electro Power to take a big knockout. I don't know if he wants to go for that just yet, or if he just wants to get some energies accelerated onto the board. Does have access to Volkner, that we know. It looks like he's looking at other options here too. See, Tag Switch, multiple Electro Powers.
Justin taking a look at both his hand and the potential 5 from Stellar Wish. Remember, he does have 1 lightning energy in his discard pile. I do not believe he has more than that, though.
He could take a knockout if he wanted to. He could use his GX attack with his Pikachu and Zekrom along with 3 Electro Powers and just take this giant tag team Pokemon off of the board.
That would expend so many of his resources, but it would not only give him 3 prizes, but it would also get rid of all of the energy on Rahul's side of the field.
Yeah, it seems like this may be something that he goes for. Maybe he just wants to have all of this plus 90 damage with triple Electro Power available to him. We'll have to see what he decides to go with here.
What would you do in this particular spot?
Well, Rahul says be aggressive, so I'd assume Justin may think along the same lines here. They're both facing off against each other. One way to beat aggression is just to be a little bit faster.
All right. Justin Bokhari now uses the Tapu Koko. Tapu Koko hits that Law Zone, but it brings back a lightning energy. That lightning energy quickly attacks.
Oh, man, he's lining it up.
He is looking at all of these turbochargers, or turbo powers.
Electro powers.
Electro powers. Turbo electro. It's just extremely strong is what it is. And there you go, plus 90 damage. And that means it's a huge knockout for Justin Bokhari. On the second turn of the game, he gets rid of a tag team Pokemon in Reshiram and Charizard.
That was quite a turn. Very impressive by him to be able to get that out on the second turn. Also had that disruption that he had on the opening turn with the judge. So still Rahul's just looks like he's going to be a couple turns behind. Using a card like Green's Exploration is just a little bit slow here. Seems like he has to go for some cards and just hope to slow down his opponent in that reset stamp that he's eyeing up.
But that's the end of his GX attack. He does not have additional energy in play because he didn't full blitz. And he spent 3 Electro Powers. That's a lot of resources that are gone here for Justin to be able to pull this off. I still believe it was the right play, but it didn't come without a cost.
Right, and this is something that Justin expects. He knows that his opponent has access to a ton of item cards, and of course can get those disruption cards in that reset stamp, but he just values that aggression over everything else.
That heat factor is still in play.
Yeah, that's another big piece, getting 3 extra cards for Rahul. Looks like he even drew into a power plant if he wanted to decide to lock out abilities. Maybe top deck Dedenne would not be available for Justin after this reset stamp to 3. Just depends if he wants to get rid of that heat factory. It's usually a lot better when you're getting rid of a Thunder Mountain.
Cherish Ball finds another Reshiram and Charizard tag team. Volcanion gets the energy for the turn. Reset stamp brings Justin's entire hand back into the deck, shuffles it up, and draws only 3 cards as there's only 3 prizes remaining for Justin.
100% agree with this play. He's going to lock in that power plant, and hopefully that will disrupt Justin just a little bit more. Will not have access to those abilities on his GX Pokemon.
Had to sacrifice his own heat factor to do so, but he understands that Justin is so unlikely to be able to draw out of this if he doesn't have access to Dead change.
All right, slow and steady. This is not the way that Rahul likes to play, but he's going to have to take that turn off. Just get 1 energy onto his Pokemon and hopefully be able to get 1 huge tanky Pokemon to beat the rest of what Justin's been able to do so early in this game.
Remember, Justin Bokhari has already taken 3 prizes, needs only 1 more tag team knockout to win this first game, but he has not advanced his board at all. Now, granted, this is only the 3rd turn of the game here for Justin, right? So it's not like it's 3rd or 4th, but it's not like it's a late sequence, and it's not like it's super uncommon for him to be in this type of position. But he does finally full blitz, brings those energies from his deck onto the field. Not only knocks out that Volcanion and bring himself to 2 prizes, but he most importantly is now fully set up with his energies in play. So now things like tag switch and whatnot are going to be much more effective for him.
That's right. Well, 3 energies onto the Alolan Raichu and Raichu tag team. Still 1 Electro Power left in Justin's deck to maybe be able to reach some big damage. It looks like he's probably going to have to go multiple hits at a time to get through this Reshiram and Charizard. Rahul does have 3 energies on board now because of that Welder, but I don't think he has access to another energy.
I don't think so either, actually. I mean, he's just been so low on resources this whole game ever since that first turn judge. It seems like he's just always missing 1 piece of the puzzle.
He's done 2 attacks.
Yeah.
2 outrages. That is not the aggression that we're used to seeing out of Rahul.
Remember, Rahul actually plays of fighting energy in his deck because he wants to have a good matchup against Pikachu and Zekrom. He wants to be able to just get the right amount of damage to be able to one-hit KO these Pikachu and Zekroms.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that martial arts dojo tech ever comes into play. Maybe not this game, but perhaps in the second or third game if we do have that.
Yeah, but the point is that he wants to have a good matchup against this deck. He's tried, extremely hard to build his deck to have a good matchup against Pikachu and Zekrom. He expected this to face Pikachu and Zekrom at the World Championships, and it's been a very unfortunate series.
Do you think he expected 290 damage on turn 2?
I do not believe so, no.
I don't think he did either.
So powerful is Electro Power.
Justin was able to find a counter stadium, so Lysander Lab is going to help him out there. Electromagnetic Radar is live for him.
Yeah, he's now going to have access to that Dene that we see there. Could also find himself something else that he wants to get rid of and not draw in the future. Looks like that card is going to be another Pikachu and Zekrom. He doesn't feel like he's going to need another one in this match.
Yep. This will give us a hint to how many lightning energies are available to Justin and the rest of his deck. If he decides to go with the Pikachu and Zekrom, maybe we'll see a full blitz to charge up that Pokemon so that he has 3 available to himself. Or maybe he's just going to play that Dedenne and start getting aggressive one more time.
Oh, absolutely. We see that Dedenne Dede change, draw 6 new cards. As he only had 1 spot available left in his bench, he knew that he just needed a new hand and was willing to sacrifice getting a Pikachu and Zekrom into play to do so.
Well done by Justin as well, using that tag switch that was able to get those energies over to the Zeraora. If he chose to use Zeraora in this instance, he brings up a Pokemon that's only a GX and not a tag team Pokemon, and that just makes the math just so much harder for Rahul. Rahul would love to go through 1 tag team Pokemon, use custom catchers, and clean up 1 more tag team for the game. Instead, it looks like Justin will be able to make it an 8-prize game, which is just so difficult, especially with how slow Rahul's been.
Justin also plays another Judge this turn. We've seen how powerful that Judge was earlier in the game against Rahul, and now Justin plays another one almost for good measure there before he attacks on this turn. Now Rahul still has 6 prizes remaining, Kyle. Rahul has not been able to get anything going offensively, and with so many energy in play for Justin, you have to believe that this game is just too far out of reach for Rahul.
Yeah, it would involve Rahul having to find multiple ways to heal. He'd have to find maybe a combination of mixed herbs along with Great Potion, and that's just not going to happen when you have 4 cards in your hand.
Right, you're absolutely going to need something like that Green's Exploration that this deck is so well known for.
Well, he does have that card in hand. Unfortunately, though, would only be able to heal off 90 damage. Maybe you could grab multiple of those Great Potions and heal off 100 damage, but I don't think that that's going to be enough to make an impact here. We'll have to see what Rahul decides to go with.
Well, he does play that Green's Exploration. Looks like he hasn't quite given up quite yet. Looks like it's Switch and what is that, Tag Switch?
Yeah, looks like that's going to be the play here.
So he's actually choosing.
So he will have access to his GX attack. He could do 200 damage to this Zeraora and take it off the board. Has that Fire Crystal in hand as well. Could use his Energy Spinner if he wanted to. He's got that, yeah, he's going to use that Fire Crystal now.
Fire Crystal finding 3 Fire Energies from his discard pile and bring them back to his hand, attaching one of these Fire Energies onto the Reshiram and Charizard. Double Blaze GX is going to be the GX attack for Rahul, which does knock out that Zeraora, but that only provides 2 prize cards for Rahul, so he'll still need...
Uh-oh, there's a custom catcher. Do we see another? Volkner.
Volkner finds a second custom catcher. That custom catcher, in combination with another one, will be able to promote that damaged Reshiram and Charizard GX, and that is going to be the game, as Justin Bokhari has just taken 6 prizes and secured a Game 1 victory here.
Yeah, beautifully done by Justin. He was able to see that if he brings up that Jirachi, he has pretty good odds of grabbing at least one of those custom catchers. Didn't take that out of his deck early by using the Volkner. Instead waited, found that one custom catcher, able to find the second one, and he knew that he had it locked up with all that damage remaining on that giant tag team Pokemon.
Going first was just so critical here for Justin. Having that turn 1 Judge when your opponent only has a single Reshiram and Charizard to play just doesn't feel good if you're Rahul, obviously, but it really just led to the victory. It was combined with a turn 2 knockout on a tag team GX Pokemon. I think that's the first time we've seen that on camera this weekend.
Yeah, at least for my eyes. I have not seen it yet, and it'd be something else if we saw it again. But both these decks have the capability to do that. They do so much damage so early. If Rahul's able to find his welders, then he can do the exact same thing to Justin. Just really depends on how much he can get done on this opening turn.
Now, Rahul getting to go first will change things up quite a bit, but do you feel like the matchup is just very handily in Justin's favor, or was this just an anomaly of a game?
It's just the way that judge worked out. I feel like Justin has about a 50-50 matchup with Rahul, but if you're able to get use out of that judge and really mess with what Rahul's trying to do in that opening turn, then you're probably going to have a lot of success. And he was able to just take such a commanding lead that there was no way that Rahul could ever come back from that. Also, these mulligans, they seem silly, but this is also pretty impactful too. Justin had so many cards that he just had everything he wanted on the opening turn before the judge even. He just was able to set up this huge board. He almost filled it with all these Pokemon and even lightning energies in the discard pile. He was in a great spot before he even had to do an attack.
Yeah, and we actually just saw a mulligan here from Rahul. I do want to stress that we saw such a great first turn from Justin because of so many mulligans from Rahul.
Right.
That's exactly what led to not only that judge, but also multiple cards being played down before that judge was played by Justin, and that's just going to give you an explosive start of your Justin Bokhari.
Rahul is laughing on the outside but crying on the inside. These hurt every single time. He would love to see one of those Volcanions to place in the active spot, and if he can combo that along with a Greens Exploration, maybe find Cherish Ball, really start rolling. Just wants to make sure that he can get a little more setup than he did last time. That damage onto his Reshiram and Charizard tag team built up, and there was no way to come back.
And Justin just stoically seeing Rahul continue to mulligan here as Rahul does mulligan again. I believe we're at 4 mulligans for this particular game.
It's piling up.
Yeah, so, I mean, it does. You said it yourself. He's laughing on the outside but crying on the inside. This is Rahul at his finest, right? Like, Rahul is always just going to have he's going to have a smile on his face, and he's going to laugh every time that something funny is happening, even though it's affecting him negatively. And that's just the kind of personality he has. But you have to believe that in such a crucial moment in this tournament, it's one of the worst feelings in the world.
Yeah, he might have to reset stamp on the first turn just to put Justin on a regular hand size, because this is getting absurd. He really is going to have to play such an uphill battle, and he already is technically the slower deck of the two, just in the way that he's built his list by way of Volcanion.
And you have to believe that that Electropower is just going through Rahul's head right now, right? He's already seen how that card has been so dangerous for him in multiples, and the more cards you give Justin in his hand, the more likely you are to see something like that happen again, and he just wants to avoid it at all costs.
There's Tapu Koko Prism in the prize cards. That could definitely slow down Justin. On the other side, it looked like Rahul didn't have too much prize for himself here, and we are underway.
Rahul. Yeah, we are underway, and Volcanion start here for Rahul is the perfect Pokemon to start with.
And he's looking at it to Dene. That's definitely something that Rahul can smile about and actually mean it this time around.
So funny that he finds that reset stamp right away.
Justin's just going to show him. Man, I had a lot of cards, but these were not good.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Bokhari did have a large hand. It had some useful stuff in there, but with that Dedenne active and whatnot, he's very happy to see his hand get shuffled away. But at the same time, you really can't take any risks of your Rahul.
Yeah, Rahul, he did grab himself a welder, so he is playing this nice and slow. Does have multiple fire energies and chose to place his attachment for the turn onto the bench. That means he's probably eyeing up one of those 230 damage attacks on the following turn. If he could do that, that'd be great for him. He'd have to combine it along with a switch, but we'll see what the welder's able to grab him. On the other side,
just a great hand for Justin, by the way.
Juice.
Yeah, just amazing stuff there. Not only does he have that combo of Pokemon Communication and Electromagnetic Radar, but he's actually just...
He's in for the bad news.
Yeah.
He's using this Pokemon Communication. He has Electromagnetic Radar and 2 Lightning Energies, and he's going to take a double look as he sees there is no Tapu Koko Prism Star in his deck.
So close, Justin. So close to just having an explosive
I mean,
start.
he almost had guaranteed turn 1 if he could get this set up. He had everything that he needed.
Yeah, he really did, except for the fact that, of course, We know that Tapu Koko's prized. He now knows Tapu Koko's prized. Trust me, he's definitely been made aware of this bad news at this point.
I mean, just think 2 minutes ago, he had like a 12-card hand, and his opponent it just keeps giving him more and more cards. And now he's sitting there with a Dedenne, and he just got the worst news that his Tapu Koko is sitting in the prize cards.
Now, Electromagnetic Radar does get rid of a Lightning Energy and another Radar.
Also, big to note, Rahul has played these matchups time and time again. The moment that Pokemon Communication does not grab Tapu Koko and he sees Lightning Energies hitting the discard pile, he knows that that is in the prize cards.
He will as soon as we see a Dede change, because there could still be that Tapu Koko in his hand hanging out. So he's still not feeling quite comfortable. But the moment we see Dedenne come down and Dede change, you're absolutely right. He'll be in for that good news. And there's that Dede change. Rahul has got to be smiling on the inside now. Well, smiling on the inside, but at the same time, you're like, whoa, well, my opponent still has a really good start.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not as explosive as the last game, but it looks like Justin is going to be a little more reliant on that Thunder Mountain. He's going to have to find that in the following turns if he wants to get a turn 2 attack, because he has no energy acceleration.
And remember, Justin has yet to use any supporter card, so if he has a Judge in hand, we will be seeing some disruption out of Justin towards
Just
Rahul.
the Volkner.
Instead, just has Volkner, so there's no disruption out of Justin. Remember, Rahul has a stacked hand. We've already seen him play Green's Exploration and find that Welder. So if Justin would have had that Judge, he absolutely would have played it. Instead, does not, and Rahul has got to be breathing a sigh of relief. Yeah. Not only has he faded that Tapu Koko, but he's now faded a Judge as well.
You see his hand immediately go up to his face the moment that Volkner hit the board. He's, oh, thank you. Because his hand is explosive. He could draw just the right cards and really get to that aggressive start that he wanted to put Justin on, but instead Justin got the upper hand in him in that first game.
Really, all he needs right now is a switch.
Yeah, we'll see if the Welder's able to help him out there. If not, could be in a bit of an awkward spot once again. And yet, Justin knows exactly what he needs, going for that Stadium Nav.
Yeah, Stadium Nav is the item of choice here from Volkner. And Stadium Nav could find himself a Thunder Mountain there to at least get a turn 2 full blitz.
All right,
now
Rahul
starts his turn right away. That
switch.
Welder, no switch though.
Does have that fire energy.
Yep, forcing Rahul to just attach the fire energy onto the Volcanion and now use Volcanion to start powering up that Reshiram and Charizard some more. That's 4 energy on Reshiram and Charizard though. So now we're starting to look at a potential one-hit KO from Reshiram and Charizard onto these big tag team Pokemon. So Justin has got to be fearing a lot of different things coming out of Rahul due to Rahul's much better start than he had game 1.
Yep, we know that that Rahul is sitting on a Green's Exploration in hand, so maybe he'd be able to work out some play with custom catchers and really put some pressure onto that Pikachu and Zekrom. Maybe Justin's only real play is to promote that into the action spot this turn. If he can get that full blitz attack off, then he will do the work for him. We'll have to see if the Judge is going to be helpful.
He has that Judge now. Wonder if he just drew that Judge right now or if he had access to it last turn and chose not to play it. But either way, Judge is going to be a supporter card here, played here from Justin Bokhari. So now Rahul's entire hand and Justin's as well gets shuffled in, and they're both going to be drawing 4. Rahul does have much more energy in play than Justin does, but now that might open up the opportunity for Justin to start getting aggressive with his full blitz.
The hand for Rahul looks pretty clean if he's able to find a supporter for Pokegear. Over on Justin's side, just another Judge, a Communication, Electropower.
Looks like Justin's just going to be forced to end his turn here.
We see 2 Dedenne on board already. We'll have to see maybe if he plays extra.
Fire Crystal drawn by Rahul, plays the Pokegear. Will he find a Welder with that Pokegear? Does not find a Welder. I don't think he had a Welder in hand either. Actually, he finds nothing with that Pokegear too.
Yeah. I believe he has a second one in hands, or... Yes, he does. So he's going to have to find something off this one.
All right. Looks through the top.
Oh, no.
And another miss.
Yeah, that is bad news.
Just a flat miss. Does not find anything. Instead, forced to just attach another energy through Volcanion onto that Reshiram and Charizard. 5 energy now in play on that Reshiram and Charizard.
There was a less risky play where he could have used Fiery Flint, maybe pulled some fire energies from his deck, and then had better odds to grab a supporter. We're talking percentages at that point, but maybe that would have helped him to find a supporter card on that turn.
Yeah, I'm sure that he's You know, hindsight being 2020, I'm sure that he's definitely wishing he had done that. But at the same time, Justin hasn't really had very much aggression going either.
Yep.
Neither player is really, neither player has dealt damage to each other, and it's just been on Volcanion attacking so far.
We do see that Justin does have that third Dedenne in his deck if he wanted to grab that.
Okay, so here Justin finally about to start getting the ball rolling, finds a Jirachi and then finds himself through Electromagnetic Radar, both Zorora and Dedenne. So we're going to see a 6-card Dede change and a Jirachi in play here for Justin. So Rahul has a lot of pressure on
I think
him.
we're going to see that Jirachi discarded. He wants to hang on to that Zero Aura ability.
Oh, of course, I've totally forgot that they already had 3 Pokemon in play. Can't play 6 Pokemon on your bench, so adios, Jirachi.
Well,
nothing to see here. Justin Bokhari does find himself 6 new cards, though. Does he have what it takes to get aggressive? He thinks he does. Full blitz out of Justin Bokhari. Down goes Volcanion. It has served its purpose, but now Rahul Reddy with 5 energy in play on his Reshiram and Charizard GX. You've got to believe that that Pikachu and Zekrom is not going to be here for long.
Yeah, and one of those energies is the fighting energy, so if he finds his dojo here, he does not have to use his GX attack for the game.
Now, he hasn't had too many plays before. Remember, he missed those Pokegears, so it'll be interesting to see if he has any super strong plays behind him. But at least getting this knockout is step one. Remember, we already see a very powered up Raichu and a Alolan Raichu on the bench, so it's not going to put him in a winning position, but it will at least keep him in the game here against Justin Bokhari. Looks like he's playing a Cherish Ball, right?
Yeah, it looks like he's finding Cherish Ball plus Welder. He's just thinking about future turns here.
Oh, he did play that Green's Exploration. We see it in the discard pile right now. So that Green's Exploration looking like it's going to find both Cherish Ball and Welder. Yes, looks like that is what's going to happen there.
Yeah, this is so tough. He just, every time he can go find 2 pieces, but he needs 7.
All right, Cherish Ball now. Finding another Reshiram and Charizard. So he does have another Pokemon on the bench. Is it time to start powering up this other Pokemon? Remember, he still needs...
Being as conservative as possible with the Fire Crystals. Oh, look at that. He is trying to punishment. That's going to be one way to do a little extra damage as well.
So Flare Strike for 230 damage, then Shrine of Punishment will give him the knockout between turns, as Pikachu and Zekrom has 240 hit points.
This is...
Everybody's taking damage here because
pretty scary, though, just the way that the math works out with the Lightning Ride. If Justin can get a little bit extra, he has that Tapu Koko, so he can get the energy in play as well.
Found that Tapu Koko off his prizes, Kyle.
I think is that just it?
I am
250 damage plus the Shrine of Punishment.
Not quite yet.
Are we missing something?
That stamp. So there is 250 damage.
Yep, that's going to be the knockout on Rahul's Pokemon. Of course, Justin still has all those prize cards that he needs to take, so that huge knockout does happen, and Rahul does have to find a way out of this mess. Lightning Ride does protect his Alolan Raichu and Raichu.
Not quite as powerful as Martial Arts Dojo would have been there, and unfortunately for him, that Shrine of Punishment gave Justin Bokhari just enough damage to be able to knock out this Reshiram and Charizard GX. And now Justin Bokhari down to 2 prizes. Rahul still has 3 remaining. Heat Factory replacing that Shrine of Punishment.
Oh, he has to play them one at a time just so that he can find some cards.
Fire Crystal brings back 3 Fire Energies. Will now be able to start playing the Fire Energy to start using the Heat Factory. Unfortunately for him, he had to get rid of a custom catcher there. It's tough. It's really, really tough if you're Rahul. Justin already down to 2 prizes.
Yeah, after that huge knockout from Justin, once again, just being able to make the math work out perfectly. Rahul is on his back foot again. These Pokegears have not been his friend, and he has to throw away the third one now.
So he does play a limited amount of supporter cards, but still, to miss 3 Pokegears is just, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, this is not what he was looking for. Desperately wanted to find a welder there. Instead, has to use greens to find that welder and wait one more turn. Has reset stamp as well, so he could limit the amount of cards that Justin can play over the next following turns. We'll see if that helps him.
Plays that reset stamp right away, and now promotes that Volcanion, retreating that Reshiram, or switching that Reshiram and Charizard away, and that means that Volcanion is going to start trying to do a little bit of work there, powering up this Reshiram and Charizard slowly but surely, and that's just been what Rahul did earlier in this game. He didn't have any aggression out of his attacks before, and now he's back to doing it all over again. Justin Bokhari, though, with only 2 prizes remaining, wants to avoid knocking out that Volcanion if he can, but because of that reset stamp, he might have limited options, and he might be forced to just kind of slowly grind away at Rahul's board here.
So with the way that the prize cards are working, Justin does not really want to knock out that Volcanion, but that might be the only way that he gets to do damage onto the Reshiram and Charizard at this point. Rahul has set up a pretty nice board, and just the way this works out, Justin will have to take 8 prize cards to finish a game.
Stadium Nav.
Misses
First
the
rolls
first.
tails. Second one is the heads, though, so he will be able to replace that Heat Factory, assuming there's any stadiums left in the deck.
Yep, I believe that Justin does play that Lysander Lab along with Thunder Mountain, so it has options here.
Justin looking through his deck. Really in a very comfortable, well, a very powerful position, but not necessarily comfortable, I guess. You still want to close this game out before Rahul has any additional turns to start powering up his Reshiram and Charizard.
Yep, so we do see that Lysander Labs is going to be the play for him. A skateboard, making use of that first before playing the Lysander Lab, then using Custom Catcher to draw 3 cards. Still has not used the ability on that Jirachi that he's just promoted.
The full 3-card Custom Catcher followed by a Stellar Wish. That's one way to climb your way out of a 2-card reset stamp. Looks through his options, has several trainer cards in those 5 cards. Now choosing to look through Rahul's discard pile to try to find the ideal trainer for this situation. Remember, Justin Bokhari only needs to win this game to win the match. Rahul still needs to win both this game and another to defeat Justin Bokhari. Justin just has been an incredible spot from the very first turn of game 1. Rahul Reddy was not able to muster up any offense going first in the second game. And Justin Bokhari has just got to be feeling like he's one step away from closing this game out.
Looks like Justin is going to decide to take that one Custom Catcher. Has the Volkner as well.
Volkner will find him both a Lightning Energy and a trainer card.
And I think he needs to grab a switch. I don't know if he has another Custom Catcher. I believe he does not. If he could, he could put some pressure onto that Reshiram and Charizard tag team instead. I think he's just going to have to take the knockout on this Volcanion. Hope that Rahul isn't able to get to that 6 energy mark on his Reshiram and Charizard. It'll be pretty difficult, especially without that Volcanion now and the limited hand size.
So now we're going to be seeing a knockout out of Justin Bokhari, but not before, I believe, he reset stamps, or was that it was a reset stamp, right?
Yeah, that reset stamp was played against Rahul, so Rahul is only going to have 3 cards. Rahul had an amazing hand. He had set that up in the turn prior with Green's Exploration. We know that he was sitting on Fiery Flint, plus some energy and Welder as well, and now he does not have access to that. We'll see if these 3 cards are any more helpful. Found his good friend Pokenav, but he has a Welder in hand.
So Welder is...
Fiery Flint.
Okay, Fiery Flint.
But he's got the fire too, so he's just going to take it.
So Welder now going to attach 2 fire energies onto that active Reshiram and Charizard. Now Pokegear
has the Welder as well.
finds another Welder. Remember, Justin Bokhari still needs to find a way to knock out this Reshiram and Charizard. There's only 20 damage on it right now, which means it still has 250 hit points remaining. Not easy to pull off once you've already used your GX attack. You're going to need a lot of Electro Power.
Still fishing, keeps using these acrobikes. Checks his hand. I think he's going to have to discard that welder, holding on to what I believe was a custom catcher. Yeah, he's got 2 custom catchers in hand, so he can set up the damage, at least get a little bit of damage onto this Alolan Raichu now. Hope to clean up on the following turn, maybe with an Outrage even.
So you deal 230 damage right now, putting Raichu at 10 hit points remaining. If only he would have had something along the lines of another Shrine of Punishment, maybe.
How many Electro Powers will it take? Because I think Rahul has it set up. We'll have to see if potentially Justin's able to find a way to disrupt Rahul's hand one more time. Rahul's shaking his head, trying to really sell the fact that he does not have game in hand, but he does.
So, yeah, he's going to need Electro Powers, but he's also going to need a switch to go with it. It's a really, really close game here. Justin Bokhari, Rahul ready. Rahul potentially putting himself in a position to win this game. 10 damage short of a knockout against that Raichu and Alolan Raichu tag team GX. Remember, he's already taken 1 GX knockout before. Needs only 1 more to win this game and go to get, Game 3 against Justin Bokhari.
So 160 damage either by way of Alolan Raichu and some switching, or the Zeraora attacking, along with 3 of those Electro Powers would get him to that magical 250 that he needs to take this knockout, win the game, win the match. We'll see if he's able to do that. Seems very difficult just with how his hand is set up. I see 1 Electro Power. He has guaranteed 2 from a Volkner, but maybe he just has to get risky and use, I think that's a Cynthia in hand?
I mean, if you don't have them right now, I think you still go for it, you know?
I mean, I think this is the play. I don't know.
You don't expect
off of the Cynthia, maybe he can find a reset stamp.
He's used 1 already. Not sure how many he's got in his deck, but that's definitely potentially an out. He's just looking for some sort of disruption if he has it.
Yeah, not seeing the Electro Power has to make Rahul feel pretty good.
Not seeing Judge as well. I don't see a reset stamp yet. No reset stamp, Kyle. Looks like Justin Bokhari is going to be forced to just retreat, and we know he's got the custom catchers. Justin doesn't, but we do.
Feels good to be us.
All right, Justin Bokhari maybe forced into thinking that his only play is going to be to retreat. There it is.
Yeah.
There's that retreat. Zeraora becomes the active Pokemon. Justin thinking that's the...
Oh, Rahul's holding on.
Rahul about to show him the cards. That's... I don't think I'd be holding my cards about like that if I was Rahul. You could still get a reset stamp. You have no idea if your opponent has it or not. You can see
there it is.
He was just waiting for that moment. He knew deep down inside that if that reset stamp would have been drawn, it would have been played. He was already well aware of that, and the fact that Justin Bokhari didn't draw any of his many forms of disruption just put Rahul Reddy in a position to win this final game. There was no way around it. Double custom catcher. We've seen how powerful bringing a Pokemon from the bench is in the past. You know, since the game has existed, that effect has been incredibly powerful. And even today, the fact that it costs you 2 cards and you're still playing it just shows how powerful an effect that is. And Rahul showing us that it's exactly what he needed in that spot to bring this to a crucial and critical Game 3 between Justin Bokhari and Rahul Reddy. Remember, 12 minutes remaining. If these players can complete this final third and final game, one of these players is going to go to 4-0.
Yeah, and that's huge for both these players. They know that a tie would certainly not help them out here at all. Both decks are fast enough to certainly win a game like this. We could see either player win a game by turn 3, even taking their 6 prize cards, just 3 and 3 with the tag teams. I wanted to make a quick note. We saw Charlie Locklear on stream earlier, and he was playing a similar list to Justin's with all of those Judge cards. He was playing 4 Judge with only 1 reset stamp, and we see Justin taking a different approach. It looks like he's playing 3 Judge with 2 of those reset stamps. So a little bit of flexibility there for Justin maybe could limit Rahul's hand without using his supporter in the late game of this final game of the match.
Justin Bokhari, calm, cool, and collected despite losing that second game, has just never really given up any sort of composure there.
Does price
Now,
Thunder Mountain, but does have his Coco available to him. On the other side, just one custom catcher that looks like that's going to be something that Rahul can certainly work with. And here we go, Judge.
one welder as well for Rahul's prizes. Always annoying to see those in your prizes if you're Rahul. Those are the most important supporters in your deck. But a Judge on turn 1, reminiscent of what happened game 1. Rahul, though, does start with Volcanion instead of Reshiram and Charizard. And going second and starting with Volcanion is a very, very good spot to be in.
I thought Let Loose was done.
Yeah, no kidding,
And
right?
here we are.
That's how powerful the Let Loose effect is. People
Yep.
are now playing.
Now we'll just do it in a supporter. I don't care. I've got Jirachi. I'll figure it out. And did he find Electro Power? He found Electromagnetic Radar.
Okay, so there it is. Another Judge followed by Dedenne. We've seen that in, I believe, all 3 games now.
Absolutely huge. Over on Rahul's side, we do see that he has a Greens Exploration, so can get something going, but the rest of those cards don't look terribly helpful. Except for that Cherish Ball, that could certainly do a little work for him.
Right, I mean, Green's Exploration could find him something like he's already got the Cherish Ball, which means if he can get like an Energy Spinner, he'll be able to start getting some energy in play, especially because it's the second turn, he's going second, he's got Volcanion. It's not going to be a terrible start for Rahul, but definitely that Judge did play a role here in how explosive Rahul's going to be. Justin Bokhari, though, still continuing his own semi-explosive turn. Remember, he does not have Thunder Mountain available to him, but he will have Tapu Koko if he chooses to find it.
Yeah, it can be a little difficult to find if you don't do it in the opening turn. Just getting the Pokemon communication along with another Pokemon can honestly be a little bit difficult. You may have to use your Volkner for that, and you'd like to use Volkner for other cards generally in setting up that turn 2 attack from your Pikachu and Zekrom tag team.
That is the end of Justin Bokhari's first turn as Jirachi remains asleep after using Stellar Wish. Now Rahul plays the Cherish Ball, finds himself that Reshiram and Charizard, and now starts to look through his prizes. Gets the relatively good news that nothing major is prized, and not too many multiples of trainer cards are prized as well. Now plays that Green's Exploration. No doubt likely going to find an Energy Spinner and potentially another supporter card to go with it.
Yep, could also, maybe if he doesn't have the cards that in there, that he could always go for that Fiery Flint, maybe thin out a little bit, but Energy Spinner is a great card when you're going second. Can really make use of all those extra effects. Heat Factory, potentially the play too.
Yeah, he's eyeing the Green's Exploration and he's eyeing a Heat Factory. He feels like both of those cards are just going to give him what he needs, right? Which is additional resources for his following turn. And it looks like he went with a Green's Exploration at the end. And now he's playing that Energy Spinner, finding himself, I believe, 3 Fire Energies, or he could go for that Fighting Energy since that's his only real way of finding it if he needs it.
Yeah, this is a great time to go ahead and grab that. It also puts a little pressure onto Justin to maybe use one of those hand disruption cards early, knowing that just a fire in a dojo, or the fighting in the dojo is going to be knockout on his Pikachu and Zekrom, which you'd love to use full blitz on this turn.
And look at how powerful Volcanion is when you go second. Normally going second is a terrible, terrible thing to happen to you, but going second and starting with Volcanion just means that you get 3 energy in play onto your Reshiram and Charizard, and you almost feel like you win first in that sense.
Yeah, this is usually how this is supposed to work for Rahul. He loves best 2 out of 3 because in the games that you go second, it's not really an issue. But when your opponent's playing Judge, that can be so difficult. Often you don't find the right cards, but Rahul, thankfully for himself, was able to find exactly what he needed and is in a pretty favorable spot here, honestly.
Jirachi did wake up between turns, so not the laziest Jirachi we've seen this weekend as Justin Bokhari does begin his turn. Remember, he's already got his Aurora, he's already got Pikachu and Zekrom in play. Only missing a couple of pieces to the puzzle, and those are basically the energy acceleration part.
Yeah, I looked away for a second. Tapu Koko's in his hand now, so that worked out well for him. He does have access to that and can use his Volkner in other ways now.
Yeah, that was huge. That was one of the key pieces of the puzzle. As long as he has lightning energies in his discard pile, then he'll be able to use Tapu Koko to accelerate just enough energy to start full blitzing on this turn. Not only will that knock out the Volcanion, but it will also pressure Rahul in the manner of having too many energy in play for Rahul to really be able to deal with. Finds a custom catcher with, I believe, Stellar Wish.
That's right. Also has Volkner available to him.
How crazy would it be if we saw triple electric power again?
I don't think that's happening. If it does, then I just give him the trophy that's sitting right next to him now. It looks like he's trying to figure out the best way to go about this. He has that one lightning energy in hand, has energy switch, so of course could make use out of that to get the third attachment onto his Pikachu and Zekrom.
All right,
he's really just been looking for a Pokemon to get this full blitz onto. Thankfully, he does have that Alolan Raichu now.
So yeah, that radar did find him that Alolan Raichu. Raichu now hits the field, and at this point is when I expect to see the Tapu Koko come down. Does he have a way to get that Jirachi out of the active spot yet?
I think he's holding on to an escape board. Yeah, it looks like that's going to float right up to the top there for him.
All right, now Tapu Koko doesn't even hit the bench.
He knows his job. I'll just go get in the box, sir.
Flew around the bench.
Oh, yeah, they're going to put the pressure on. Here we go.
All right, reset stamp as well. Okay, so that's just so many different cards played by Justin Bokhari in a short period of time. But to recap, he's now going to be able to full blitz, put some damage onto the Reshiram and Charizard because of custom catcher. His Tapu Koko brought enough energy into play for him to be able to use this full blitz, and now that full blitz is going to start powering up the Raichu and Alolan Raichu. So now not only is Reshiram and Charizard damaged without being able to deal damage itself, but it's also going to be facing down two different Tag Team GX Pokemon, both fully powered and ready to knock out this Reshiram and Charizard.
Honestly, this is exactly where both players want to be. You have 4 minutes left to finish this game. Rahul has his best attacker in the active spot, and he does have a potential knockout here on a Tag Team Pokemon in the same place. Justin has enough damage down on this Reshiram and Charizard to where he can get a return knockout. It's really just going to be dependent on if Rahul has the cards to make one more big attacker and close out this game with such limited time.
He still has a fighting energy in his hand, right?
I would assume so. There was there was that hand disruption. There was a reset stamp, so finding that could be a little more difficult. Already has used his spinner. He only plays the one, I believe.
Oh, man, I almost feel like I'm seeing it, but the hand's going
it's a
so fast.
Really shiny fighting energy, too, so it looks like a fire at some point. Does have the dojo. He's actually going to throw away the dojo. That
obviously, yeah. So no fighting energy in hand. Dojo goes down, which means it's down to Shrine of Punishment if he wants to get a knockout on this turn. Shrine of Punishment would be huge here. He did not have faith in him, in his ability to draw that fighting energy.
Yep, certainly an understandable decision there for himself. He knows that he can just go ahead and get that shrine with a...
Does he have a greens expiration in hand?
Yeah, he's holding on to that greens. He's got that full art greens there. Yeah, he's actually jumping the gun. He's going to just play it now.
Okay, so that greens expiration will find him that Shrine of Punishment, which is huge. It's going to give him that knockout against Justin Bokhari. It's going to get him down to 3 prizes before Justin goes down to 3 prizes himself. And it's also going to find him that Welder. That Welder, when paired with Fire Energies, is going to bring him a backup attacker to be able to start threatening another knockout into another tag team Pokemon. Rahul is currently ahead in the prize race the way that this is working out. There's that's actually a fighting energy too. But Shrine of Punishment is that extra 10 damage between turns that Rahul needed. That's going to be 3 prizes taken by Rahul. Justin Bokhari still at 6. 2 minutes remaining on the clock. Both players have what they need to start closing this game out. But Justin Bokhari just took a huge, huge hit here.
What a bizarre way to go about that turn. Rahul actually using that Great Potion, but I don't think it's going to make any difference in terms of the amount of damage that Justin needs to do here. Just doing 160 damage is going to be a knockout. He can do that without using his GX attack. And the Shrine of Punishment is actually going to compound a little extra damage onto his Reshiram and Charizard. He's going to need a card like Great Potion to remove that damage from his Reshiram and Charizard that's on the bench, which will eventually be in the active spot.
Yeah.
He might just set up for his opponent to lightning ride to victory.
Yeah, I mean, he also He had the martial arts dojo that he could have taken, but he chose not to take, and he had the fighting energy in hand.
I never trust your eyes, but yeah, you saw it. It was there.
Yeah. So that just tells us that he's looking for that Shrine of Punishment to deal additional damage to that Raichu and Alolan Raichu. He's got a game plan. I have to believe that he felt like the Shrine of Punishment play was still going to be better despite having the fighting energy. So that means that he believes that he's going to win this prize race given what he has available to him. Otherwise, he would have gone with the dojo.
So I see what you're hinting at. If this Reshiram and Charizard does fall here, which it should, he can then promote the Volcanion, start to load up this Reshiram and Charizard, and maybe he can find the right amount of damage to knock out one more tag team Pokemon and win the game. He's already seen double Custom Catcher out of his opponent. Maybe it is pretty difficult for him to find the last two and take that big knockout. He'll have to work his way through that Volcanion.
Exactly. So Raichu and Alolan Raichu has 250 hit points remaining. This is a little bit close, but I'm not feeling like either player is out of this quite yet. Both players have their game plan, and they're both starting to execute that game plan. It's just a matter of who flinches first. Rahul does get his Reshiram and Charizard knocked out. That means Justin, now down to 3 prizes himself, promotes that Volcanion like we said he would. And after drawing that 4-card hand, he brings another Volcanion down, attaches an energy onto that Reshiram and Charizard. Custom Catcher's drawing 2 cards.
Whoa, he finds greens along with Welder. He has Fire Crystal in hand. Rahul gets the news that he's turned 0. He needs to find knockout on a tag team Pokemon next turn.
Time was literally just called right there, which means we now know how many turns these players have remaining. Rahul, 2 turns left. Justin Bokhari, 2 turns left.
Yeah, Rahul's just going to take a peek. He does see that he has all those fire energies, so he can use that Fire Crystal and then bring all those energies onto the board by way of Welder.
Still stoic as always is Justin Bokhari, just calm, cool, and collected.
Whoa!
He's Welder bring energies onto the Volcanion, actually.
He's going to go 2-piece.
Okay, so Volcanion now going to be an attacker rather than a Pokemon setting up.
Little High Heat Blast.
High Heat Blast looking to deal 110 damage to this Raichu and Alolan Raichu. With paired with that 10 damage he took from Shrine of Punishment, that puts him at 120 damage dealt, 140 HP remaining.
Rahul is holding on to Welder plus 1 Custom
Stadium
Catcher
nav,
right now.
1 Tails,
Does
1 Heads.
it.
Stadium nav. Will he replace his own Lysander Lab?
Just goes ahead and finds 1 more.
Looks to just thin the deck, really. Kyle, this is a razor-thin finish here between these 2 players.
Absolutely. So it looks like Justin is going to try to piece together the cards. He needs to find Electro Power plus double Custom Catcher if he wanted to win the game outright here.
Doesn't have any of the current pieces in hand.
He has it. He's looking. He found the Custom Catcher.
Looks like he already had one in hand. He
energy attachment.
Energy.
Switch.
Double Custom Catcher.
There we go.
There it is. Double Custom Catcher finds him exactly what he needed to take the final 3 prizes. Rahul Reddy goes down 2 games to 1 against Justin Bokhari in a razor-thin finish, coupled with double Custom Catcher twice from Justin Bokhari.
Yeah, he was able to get